Well, can I get you any closer? What I'm going to do is look carefully at the head of this guitar to see how it's performing and give it a bit of a service. I'm also going to examine this minutely, this roller nut. There's a million different types of roller nuts, and this is one that I can't find an example of anywhere. But then, oh, there's Georgie Girl, because Georgie Girl with a wire. Right, okay, I forgot about you, Georgie Girl. Right, I shouldn't have forgot about you, because I knew as soon as the strings start. So anyway, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by a little black cat that loves to chew on guitar strings. There are a million of these roller nuts, and I couldn't find any like this on the internet. Mind you, I only spent about 15 minutes looking, but there's a lot like it. And it's typical ever since they made the first guitar. I think it was way back in the 1500s. They've been trying to improve it, and they've used all sorts of things to improve it. And they've done some things that improve it, which is, you know, not... Could you move your ass, please? You really want the starring role, don't you? That's because I took the strings off her. But they try to improve it, and sometimes they come across with nice improvements like string trees. These are roller string trees. This one's bent, I see, a little bit. Interesting. Okay. Oh, and Georgie Girl wants attention, so off goes the camera. Sorry. So that's her. Enough cuddles for the day. As I was saying, these rolling string trees are very good. That one's bent slightly. I don't know whether you can see it when I turn it. It's slightly bent, but it makes no difference whatsoever because it doesn't matter whether it's bent or not. A little bit of damage there, which I'm going to try to clean up. But I'm going to examine these carefully, everything, the tuners, and tighten everything down. I'm going to have a good look at this. And as I was saying, there's been a lot of new developments in guitars going right back. A lot of them have been good, but I don't rate these things. I don't see any benefits from them. People probably love them. Oh, they're gorgeous, they must have it, blah, blah, blah. And the Floyd Rose as well, I don't rate it. So I'd rather have a good bone nut, but then I'm old-fashioned and I'm old. So I'm taking this apart to look at it because it's an unusual make. It has a tiny little Allen key there, but it's also got a special locking nut you need a special screwdriver for. Well, it looks like you need a special screwdriver for it, but I'm going to turn it to see what it does anyway and to see if it does need a special screwdriver. But I'm taking this off to see if we have any height adjustments controls on this. Yeah, we have. They're called shims. So you're stuck with the height, and all that does, if you can see that down there, that's an Allen key, and there's a sort of a locking nut around it, and all that could possibly do is hold these rollers firm. I suspect that, I can't figure out why that's needed, but it says it's needed. So, and as you notice, the roller nut's fat there at this end, fat to there, and slim from there to there. So it's conical shape from that end to that end, and I'm sure there's a good reason for that. The string would sit on that and have less to rattle against, and the big string would, so I presume they thought it out, but as you can probably tell, I'm not impressed. Right, I'm going to clean that up. Now I'm going to look at these two. Just to make sure they're well and truly put in, and that there's nothing beneath them that I need to worry about. And yes, it's a little bit wobbly. I'm not even going to try to straighten that because it's unnecessary. I'll take it off to clean it. And always use the right size screwdriver, please, people. Nothing I hate worse. Wait till you get to the other end when I show you the Floyd Rose. What a wrong side screwdriver can do. Now I'm going to take the nuts off too. I'm going to take everything off because I want to strip it down and have a good look at everything. And I probably will just stick these up individually rather than as one big video. I'll probably stick them up and just show you them as we go along. Right, so they're gold-plated tuners. No, oh yes, there is an adjustment. You screw that and it tightens it, makes it firmer. Don't screw it too much or you'll damage the nylon head. Nylon washer in there. Nylon washer in there, right, okay. And the shims have come off. Yes, I'm going to move that over there, move that over there. Take the shims. That's why I don't like these things, because you have, the only thing you can do is put shims on. And I don't like that. So I'm going to take these all off and these tuners are not bad tuners, not what you call the greatest tuners, but they have a very, you have to turn it many times to get it to turn once or twice, and that would probably be deliberate. I don't know what the ratio is, but if you're tuning this, you need one of those twirlygigs to give it a tune, because you turn it once and you get about an eighth, a 16th of a turn. Okay, and I'm just using plain water and a little bit of soap, because I'm always nervous about these decals. They're supposed to be a coat of lacquer over the top of them before they do the guitar off. But I can actually feel the decals, so I'm not going to go crazy on it. I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm going to use a little bit of acetone on it. Yep, okay. And it is coming off. So and trying to get inside the scratch. It has been scratched. Something has damaged it in there. And unfortunately it's got down to the natural wood because it's a scratch, and whatever blackness is in there has soaked into the natural wood. So I'm not going to be able to rub that out, unfortunately. I'm going to leave that. I could sand it down and take it down and then stain it again, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that fussy. I've taken away the worst of it. Right, let me just use this, what's left of the residue, just to clean up any little, there's a little residue of acetone on this. So we'll put this back on. Put these shims back on. Where are my brushes? Oh, I've got the brushes mixed up with the tuners. But I'm not going to lubricate this or anything. I don't think it needs it, because it doesn't need to roll like a wheel. It just needs to, it doesn't roll at all. Tell me something. Do you like these things? I just find them nice and fancy, but I don't really see the good of them if you're a guitar player. Thingy with the red guitar, you know, Brian May, he's got rolling saddle but not a rolling nut. But the rolling saddle I can sort of understand because it doesn't damage your strings as much. But those screws again have been used the wrong. They've used the wrong screwdriver in them and worn them away a bit. I'm doing this because there's a gentleman's already expressed an interest in buying this, and I want to make sure if he does buy it that he's not getting anything that's hidden from him. So this video will go up bit by bit as I do it, and he'll be able to see it perfectly and see all he's getting. Right, okay. Now let's put the string trees on. And give it that firmness. So those are both on pretty firm. Right, now let's look at these. But you're talking about a guitar that's now a vintage, because this is 20-year-old guitar. But it's a pretty good neck for that. So give me some suggestions what you think I should ask the gentleman for if he's interested in buying it. What do you think it's worth on the market? I'm seeing prices of 300, 350, but those are guitars that are in immaculate condition. And as you'll see, this guitar is in good condition, but it's not in what I'd call immaculate condition. It's got that scratch there, and it's got a little dent there in the fretboard. It'll be beautiful when it's finished, but it's not what you call immaculate. So I'm sort of thinking around 250 plus postage, because it's going to have to be posted. So you tell me what you think. Okay, I'll clean the nuts on the other side. I don't know why those nuts are sticky and damaged, not damaged, but sticky on the other side. Ah, look at that, look at that. The roller fell out. That's interesting. Isn't it? Isn't that interesting that the roller fell out? Come back here, Paddy Riley. Isn't that interesting? So what does that do? What does that little screw do? I don't know. Anyway, if it falls out again, I know where it goes. So let me just look at these dirty little knobs here. I wonder if there was any plates inside that. You know, if there was a little plate glued into it, and that's the remnants of a glue. I can't see why they would do that. Why they would take the decals off, because they're pretty nice the way it is. These tuners, so it doesn't need a decal on it. So I suspect it didn't have any decal on it, and that's just sort of grease build-up over the years. There might even be a bit of grease inside those that squeezes out. I'm going to use some white spirits on a fresh cotton bud, cotton swab, Q-tip, some white spirits, and that's better. That does the job instantly. Look at that. White spirits just instantly takes away the greasy, grimy guff. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is use the white spirit on a bit of cloth to try to clean the knobs, just in case there's any guff on the knobs, which I don't think there is, but it does bring it up nicely though. It does bring up the knobs nicely. So that's it as far as I'm concerned with the top part. these are all working fine. I'll try to demonstrate for you. Let me just take a bit of guitar string, just a slice of guitar string, and put it in there. And you watch as I turn the knob one turn. It's one turn. So you can see if you're putting a lot of string on this, that's 3 turns. It's 3 turns to a quarter. It's turned a complete quarter with 3 turns of the. So you can see there's a lot of winding, but it also gives you a fine tune. Gives you an opportunity to fine tune things, and they're fairly firm. So, but the higher the quality of these tuners, you can have it so that one turn would give you a half or maybe a full turn. But if they're really high quality, they won't slip, and if you could wire your guitar properly, it won't slip. So, okay, that's the head done, and we'll move on now to the body.